Hello, everyone! It's me, Joy, along with my friends Anxiety, Anger, and Disgust. Today, our boy Tim is going to take on the exciting mode called Disgust Barry's Prison Run. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so that Tim can get out of here safely.
What? Disgust! Why did you lock us up in this prison? Why did you lock Tim up? This could be really dangerous.
What? Disgust? Are you kidding me? This is your doing? I'm furious! Why would you do this?
Guys, believe me, I really have nothing to do with this. Maybe it's just a poor imitation of me. I would never do something so disgusting to Tim.
Guys, let's not fight. We're a team, we should stay positive. Besides, look around, it's actually quite fascinating and interesting in here
And very dangerous. Every room here feels like a nightmare to me.
Oh, wow! Look! Do you see that figure up ahead? It looks just like disgust. How is that even possible? This is infuriating. I'm boiling with anger. How dare they?
We need to find a way out of here. Hey, look over there. Ventilation. If we can reach it, we might be able to escape.
Ugh! Why is it always ventilation? It's so dirty and cramped. But fine, if this is our only way out, we'll have to crawl through it. But I'm protesting.
We're almost there. Just a little more and we'll be saved. It's so exciting, like being in a real movie. We'll make it and everything will be all right.
We did it! We escaped! Now he can't get us, but we need to keep moving to find the exit and finally put this nightmare behind us.
Oh, it stinks so badly here. It's really disgusting. I can't wait until we finally get to fresh air. I hope this path leads to something less revolting.
We're heading down. Tim, are you sure this is a good idea?
Don't worry, Anxiety. Tim always has everything under control. Just a little more and we'll be free. I'm confident about that.
Wow, where are we? What is this dungeon? Everything looks so bright and big. It feels strange.
And it also smells really bad. Oh God, when will we get out of this horrible prison? Subscribers, help us out! Please like and subscribe to our channel. It will give Tim the motivation to keep going if he sees that hundreds of people are rooting for him.
Oh no! This bridge is very dangerous. I'm really worried about our boy Tim. Please be careful, Tim. We always end up in risky situations.
The bridge is crossed. Everything's fine, Anxiety. No need to panic. Tim will handle it.
So here's another challenge ahead. It looks easy, but we need to be extremely careful. Oh no, what's that huge ball? It could crush us.
Tim, run faster. This is very dangerous. Don't get hit by the ball, please. Wait a minute. What are those on the walls? Are they memories? But where did they come from? What are they doing here?
Guys, I'm starting to get confused. The control panel at the beginning, the memories, the bright objects. Where are we even? Maybe Tim ended up in someone's head. Perhaps somewhere in a memory warehouse?
I don't know, but I'm really scared. A copy of Disgust is chasing us again. How many of them are there, and why does it look so much like our friend?
I'm about to erupt lava, I swear. I'm so angry. This is happening again. This place is full of mysteries we still can't solve.
Phew, it looks like we've escaped. She was so disgusting. I'm glad Tim got away from her. She looked terrible and smelled even worse. I hope we don't run into her again.
Guys, let's run up the stairs. See, everything's fine. We're safe for now. No need to panic or be scared.
How about we share a few interesting stories with our viewers while Tim finds his way out?
I think that's a great idea. It will help us distract ourselves from this nightmare and feel less scared. Everyone, give us a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to hear some stories from us.
Well, I think our viewers have already liked and subscribed. Tim was always looking for adventure, and here he found himself in an abandoned castle full of mysteries and secrets. He was thrilled to discover such a place, and each new discovery brought him more joy. Exploring the ancient corridors and investigating old objects was a real pleasure for him. I was happy with him, seeing his enthusiasm and excitement.
But with each step, I became more and more nervous. The castle was dark and abandoned, and the silence around us only intensified my fears. Every creak and rustle made me anxious, and I worried that Tim might run into something dangerous. My concerns grew as he explored dark corners and labyrinthine hallways. I was worried for his safety and was on the verge of panic.
When strange things started happening in the castle, I couldn't stay calm. Doors creaked, and sometimes it felt like someone was watching us. This was outrageous. Why did the old castle have to be so mystical and frightening? I was ready to fight these mysterious forces to protect Tim and ensure his safety. I couldn't stand by and watch the castle scare him.
Some parts of the castle were just disgusting. We encountered decaying furniture, moldy walls, and dust that was almost visible. The smell of mustiness and decay was terrible. These places were so dirty and unpleasant that I felt uncomfortable. The castle was not only scary but also extremely unpleasant to the senses.
Despite all the difficulties and fears, Tim continued to enjoy the adventure. He found an old diary that told the story of the castle's past and its inhabitants. This was a real treasure. Tim was thrilled with his discoveries and proud that he could uncover part of the history of this mysterious place. His joy and satisfaction were contagious, and even in the spooky atmosphere, he continued to find positive moments.
As events became more strange, I was on the verge of panic. Instead of the usual silence of the castle, we began to hear eerie sounds and creaks, and in some places, the air felt heavy and oppressive. I worried about Tim's safety and wanted him to get out of this scary place as soon as possible.
I was infuriated when Tim encountered the most frightening parts of the castle, full of creepy frescoes and symbols. Why did the old place have to be so horrible and uncomfortable? I was outraged that the castle was trying to scare Tim and disrupt his adventure. This was unfair and unacceptable. I wanted Tim to leave all these scary things behind and find a safe place.
When Tim finally got out of the darkest corners of the castle, I felt relieved. The castle was not only scary, but also an extremely unpleasant place. I was glad that all of this was behind us and hoped Tim would never encounter anything like it again.
Despite all the difficulties, Tim was thrilled with his discoveries and adventures. He was proud that he had overcome his fears and explored the abandoned castle. Coming home brought relief and joy. Tim told his friends about his impressions, and his eyes once again sparkled with happiness. This adventure became a unique and unforgettable experience for him. We were all glad that, despite all the fears and discomforts, he found joy and satisfaction in this unusual journey.
So guys, did you enjoy it? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really motivates us to take on new challenges.
The next story is about how we were emotions in the mind of an evil scientist. When we found ourselves in Dr. Green's mind, an evil scientist, I was consumed with righteous anger. He used his intellect to create things that could harm others. It infuriated me. How can one waste their talents on destruction when they could be creating something useful? I decided our task was to channel his energy into a more constructive direction.
We started by trying to spark an interest in him for things that could bring joy and benefit. Instead of dark experiments, we aimed to inspire him to focus on something positive. At one point, he even became interested in creating devices that could improve people's lives. That was a huge step forward. Every time he did something kind or useful, we rejoiced with him, and his mood gradually improved.
Of course, I was constantly worried that he might revert to his old habits. His dark thoughts and plans still occasionally surfaced, and I was anxious that he might become evil again. Whenever he delved into his grim schemes, I tried to redirect his attention to something brighter and more positive. It felt like we were walking on thin ice, and any misstep could ruin everything.
I was particularly disturbed by his experiments, which were often unethical and dangerous. I felt revulsion towards how he treated his subjects and the experiments themselves. We began pushing him to reconsider his methods and think about the consequences of his actions. Gradually, he started to understand that he could be beneficial rather than harmful. His approach to his work became more responsible and ethical.
Over time, we saw Dr. Green begin to change. He became more open, started participating in community projects, and helped other scientists. His work ceased to be dark and threatening. Instead, he focused on creating inventions that could improve people's lives and help the environment. This path was not easy, but eventually, he became a kind and respected scientist. We were thrilled to help him see the brighter side and find the strength for change.
Sometimes he still experienced bursts of anger, but now they were directed at fighting injustice and improving the world. He used his passion and energy to do good rather than evil. We saw him becoming happier and more satisfied with his work and life overall. It was a true miracle to see him transform from an evil scientist into a kind and caring person.
Hooray! Tim defeated the final boss and we finally escaped from the prison. We are free!
Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.
Hello, everyone, dear friends. Today we will be playing Escape Evil Inside Out 2 Prison.
Guys, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so that Tim can make it to the end.
Look at this. It's our control panel. What's it doing here?
I don't know, but it smells terrible here. Is that fish? Canned food? Whatever it is, it's disgusting.
All right, let's go. I think it's a great idea to escape through the ventilation above. Guys, let's give it a try.
Oh no, it's really cramped in the ventilation. What was written on the wall? Did you see it?
No, Anxiety. I didn't see it. Maybe our viewers did. Guys, please write in the comments what was written on that wall. We're moving on. It's high up here, but we'll manage.
Oh no, it's really high up. Just look at those spikes down there. If our boy Tim falls, I'm about to cry from fear. I'm so worried for Tim.
Anxiety, calm down. See, everything's fine. We're not going to fall onto the spikes. Tim is okay. But where are we? And why does it smell so bad here?
Hey, who's that? Yeah, disgust. I'm starting to smell it too. Oh no, she looks a lot like our Joy. How dare she chase us?
We need to run faster. Guys, I don't know who that is or why her face looks like mine and why she's chasing Tim. There's no time to figure it out. We just have to run.
That creature is terrifying. Did you see how it looks? It's farting and chasing people. I'm really scared. Tim, please, let's go faster.
Phew, that was close. That was dangerous. I hope it gets safer and less disgusting from here. We need to find out who that was and why she looks so much like Joy.
Guys, I really don't know who that is. Maybe it's some kind of evil copy of me that wants to destroy us.
Destroy us? I'll destroy anyone who dares to touch Tim. Let's keep moving forward. No looking back.
This pit looks pretty suspicious. By the way, when did Tim get so good at digging so quickly?
Tim is smart and strong. He can handle these challenges easily. But where are we now? This place looks really unpleasant and disgusting. Tim, you need to find a way out of here quickly.
The exit is near. I can feel it. We just need to stay vigilant and avoid falling. It's simple, and I doubt anything will happen to us even if we do fall. Let's keep moving forward.
Joy, that's lava. It's dangerous. We need to be very careful.
What is this room? Everything looks so unusual and mysterious. I love puzzles and adventures, and this looks like a real challenge.
That guy clearly isn't happy about our visit. Why is he chasing us? We're just trying to find a way out, and he's acting like we've invaded his territory. We need to be careful and find a way to get rid of him before it's too late.
Ah, what a disgusting smell. It's as if the entire castle is soaked in filth and foul substances. I can't believe we ended up here. And that man, his appearance and odor are just horrifying.
Don't worry, it's all part of the adventure. We'll get through this. Let's see what's behind the next doors. Everything will be fine if we stick together and act as a team.
Congratulations. We escaped the castle, Tim. You did a great job. I hope we won't have to worry so much about our boy in the future. Keep up the good work.
Friends, let's share a couple of interesting stories with our viewers while Tim is going through these challenges. Please like and subscribe, and let's get started.
Once we went on a quest to find a lost treasure. The legend said that the treasure was hidden in ancient ruins, and only the bravest could find it. We decided to take on this challenge and start our adventure.
I felt the tension and worry because we didn't know what lay ahead. The ruins were filled with traps and puzzles. I was concerned that we might get lost or run into trouble.
I was outraged when I saw that some traps were especially devious and dangerous. I knew we had to be cautious to avoid falling into a trap and becoming victims of this treacherous treasure.
Inside the ruins, there was a lot of dirt and unpleasant smells. I didn't like being in such conditions, but I knew we had to continue our adventure despite the discomfort.
Finally, we found the key to the last puzzle, and it led us to a hidden room where the treasure was concealed. We were thrilled to have found it and overcome all the obstacles.
I felt relief when we found the treasure, but I was also wary. What if someone found out about our success and tried to take it from us?
I was glad that we managed to keep the treasure safe. We deserved this success despite all the difficulties and dangers.
Even though the treasure was found, I was still not pleased with all the dirt and troubles we had to endure. The main thing is that we completed the task.
We returned home with the treasure and were proud of ourselves. It was an incredible adventure, and we were all happy that we were able to complete it together. This is a story about how, along with anger, anxiety, and disgust, we were the emotions of Alex, a famous stuntman. Alex was performing in Hollywood, and his stunts were true artistry. When everything went smoothly, we celebrated his successes and supported him as he took the stage. Each stunt was a true celebration for us, and Alex always looked happy and confident.
On the day when everything went wrong, I was especially tense. Alex was preparing for a complex stunt that seemed too risky. I was worried that something might go wrong, and unfortunately, my fears came true. Alex suffered a serious injury. I was horrified and anxious about how this could affect his career and health.
When I learned about Alex's injury, I was furious. It was unfair that he ended up in such a situation. How could the organizers or the team not account for all the risks? I was scathing and angry at everyone who could be responsible for what happened. It was unacceptable, and I felt that Alex did not deserve such treatment.
It was unpleasant to see what happened to Alex. The injury was horrifying and disgusting, and it was hard for me to watch him suffer. I felt that the whole situation was the result of negligence and disregard for safety. It all caused me a sense of disgust.
Despite the heavy ordeal, we, as Alex's emotions, decided to support him during this difficult time. We knew he would not give up and would continue to fight. Alex was determined to recover and return to his work. We tried to boost his spirit and remind him that he was strong and capable of overcoming difficulties.
I was still worried, but saw that Alex was taking steps for his recovery. He was undergoing rehabilitation, working with doctors, and continuing to believe in the best. I was concerned about his health, but saw that he was doing everything possible for his recovery.
I was glad that Alex did not break down and continued to fight despite everything that happened. I was angry that he had to go through this, but proud of how he reacted to the tough situations. We continued to support him in his fight for recovery and safety.
Although I was still dissatisfied with what had happened, I saw how Alex turned his pain into motivation. He did not let negativity defeat him, and that was commendable. I hoped that such situations would not recur, and that safety on set would be improved.
Alex managed to overcome his injury and return to his career, but now he was even more attentive to safety issues. His resilience and courage inspired us all. We were proud that we could support him during this difficult time. This story reminded us of the importance of being there for those we care about and finding light in the darkest moments of life.
Did you enjoy it? If so, give us a like and subscribe, and we won't stop. Let's keep going. Also, feel free to leave your opinions in the comments. Your support means a lot to us.
We, along with anger, anxiety, and disgust, were Tim's emotions when he participated in a football tournament. It was an exciting time, full of anticipation and hope. We were all thrilled when Tim and his team made it to the finals. It was the moment we had been eagerly awaiting.
On the day of the tournament, I was filled with anxiety. It was the final match, and the whole team was under immense pressure. I worried that Tim and his friends might make mistakes or face difficulties. We wanted everything to go perfectly, but were anxious about every detail, from the condition of the field to the team's preparation.
I was determined. When the match started, I was ready for any challenges. I felt anger when I saw the opponents playing aggressively and using dirty tricks. I wanted Tim and his team to not fall for the provocations and to keep fighting until the end. We had to show that we could overcome any obstacles.
I was skeptical and felt disgusted at moments when the game became tense. There were instances when the referees made questionable decisions and the opposing players didn't always play fairly. It was unpleasant and made me uncomfortable. I feared that this might affect the outcome of the game.
Despite all our worries, Tim and his team played incredibly. They fought for every ball, and their perseverance and teamwork impressed everyone. And then, at the very end of the match, when the score was almost tied, Tim scored the decisive goal. It was an amazing sight, and all the spectators and we, his emotions, were on cloud nine with happiness.
I was filled with relief and joy when Tim and his team won. All the tension and fear I felt disappeared when we saw them celebrating their victory. I was proud that all their efforts and training had yielded such wonderful results.
I was incredibly proud of Tim and his team for not giving in to provocations and fighting until the end. The victory was well-deserved, and I was glad that we managed to prove our strength and endurance. Everything was great, and we got what we deserved.
Although I didn't like some of the unpleasant moments in the game, I couldn't help but be happy for Tim and his team. They overcame difficulties and achieved success. The victory was well earned, and it showed that despite all the challenges, they managed to overcome every obstacle.
So Tim and his team won the football tournament, and it was an incredible victory. We were all thrilled to see them enjoying their success and celebrating their well-deserved win. This story showed that hard work, support from friends, and loyalty to one's team can lead to amazing results. We are proud of Tim and his team and happy to have been part of this wonderful moment.
Thank you for joining us and following our adventures. We hope you enjoyed our stories and had a great time watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss our new videos. Bye for now.
Hello, dear friends. I am Joy. And today, we will be playing Roblox in the mode Escape Carnival of Terror. Before we start, I'd like to ask you to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as well as leave a comment on which map we should play next. Let's begin the escape from this amusement park.
Yes, let's get started. Whoa, it's so hot in here.
Oh, look, a red balloon.
A red balloon? It's not just a balloon, it's a sign of danger. What if it's a trap or a symbol of some evil clown?
Anxiety, you're worrying too much. It's just a balloon. We're here to help Tim get through the game, not to get scared at every step.
But what if there's something behind that balloon? We need to be cautious, or we might get into trouble.
All right. We'll be cautious, but let's not panic over every little thing. Tim is strong. He can handle any challenges.
Just look down there. Those are some kind of teeth or fangs. It looks really disgusting, and that's probably why there's such an unpleasant smell here. We need to be extra careful not to fall onto those fangs.
Wow, that's a huge fire. I've never seen flames that big before. Tim, be careful not to get burned, or you'll end up looking like a piece of charcoal.
That's not even big. I see flames like that on my head every day when everyone annoys me.
Ugh, just look at this place. All these traps and dangers look horrible. Who even thought of creating such a disgusting room?
Wow, this is incredible. There's so much going on here. I think Tim will have fun overcoming all these traps.
Fun? Are you serious? It's dirty and dangerous here with all these nasty traps everywhere. One wrong step and he could be in big trouble.
Well, you're right. It does look dangerous. But just imagine how proud Tim will be when he gets through all this. He can do it, especially with us here to help him.
I just hope he doesn't have to touch anything gross. These spikes and mud pits are a nightmare.
Let's support him and help him stay focused. If we stay positive, Tim can handle any challenge. Go, Tim!
Wow, what a huge tower. We need to climb it to move forward, but it looks rusty and unstable. What if we fall? What if one of those pipes collapses and we fall back down? It would hurt Tim a lot.
Don't worry, Anxiety. Everything will be fine. Even our boy Tim doesn't weigh enough to break the platform. Plus, we're almost at the top.
These thin pipes look really unstable. What if one of them breaks under Tim's weight? We could fall and get injured.
And not just that. Look how dirty and rusty those pipes are. And the smell is awful. I don't even want to touch them.
Yes. And what if he touches something unpleasant or filthy? It could be dangerous and gross. I'm scared this could end badly.
I'm scared too, but if we don't move, we won't get through. I hope Tim will be careful and avoid stepping on anything disgusting.
Maybe we can find another way to get across? These pipes look very risky. I hope everything will be all right.
If we can't find another path, we'll have to use these. But we need to make sure Tim is as careful as possible to avoid touching those dirty pipes.
I want to tell you about the time Tim went on his first camping trip. It was such an exciting adventure. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the air was filled with the scent of pine trees. Tim was all set with his backpack, ready to explore the great outdoors. We could feel the thrill of the adventure right from the start.
Yeah, but it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. The first thing that went wrong was when Tim tried to set up the tent. Those instructions were ridiculous. They made no sense at all. I was ready to tear that tent apart. Tim struggled with it for what felt like hours, and I could feel my blood boiling, but we managed to get it up eventually.
You don't even remind me about that tent. It was old and musty, and there were bugs everywhere. The campsite wasn't much better, with muddy spots and weird smells all around. And when Tim tried to cook dinner over the campfire, he ended up with burnt marshmallows and half-cooked hot dogs. It was all so gross. I just wanted to get out of there.
Oh, and the night. That was the worst part for me. Every little sound outside the tent made me jump. What if there were wild animals lurking around? What if the fire went out and we were left in complete darkness? I kept imagining all sorts of terrible scenarios. Tim tried to reassure me by saying it was just the wind or harmless forest creatures, but I couldn't help worrying.
But in the end, we made it through the night. When morning came, the forest looked magical in the early light. Tim even found a beautiful stream nearby, where he skipped stones and enjoyed the peaceful sound of the water. We had our ups and downs, but that camping trip turned out to be an unforgettable experience. It taught Tim a lot about resilience and enjoying nature, despite the challenges. And we were there with him every step of the way, helping him navigate the adventure. And before starting the next story, I would like to ask you to like and subscribe to the channel.
Now we're going to tell you a story about how Tim went skating for the first time.
It was such an exciting day. The ice was smooth and sparkling, and we all felt that this was going to be an amazing adventure. Tim was determined to learn how to skate and enjoy every moment on the rink.
Yeah, but nothing went smoothly. At first, Tim kept falling, and I was furious. Those skates were so uncomfortable, and the ice was slicker than ever. I wanted to smash that rink to pieces. How can you enjoy skating when you're constantly falling?
And not just that. The ice was dirty with bits of snow and even some gum. Imagine how disgusting it was to fall on that ice. And when Tim tried to get up, his hands touched all that filth. I just couldn't stand it.
And every fall made me even more nervous. What if Tim seriously injured himself? What if he hit his head? It felt like something bad was happening with every step he took. I was terrified that the day would end in the hospital.
But you know what? Tim didn't give up. He got up again and again, despite all the falls and difficulties. And by the end of the day, he was skating much more confidently. He even made a few laps around the rink without falling. It was incredible to see how his perseverance and determination paid off. We were all so proud of him.
Yeah, he did it in the end, but that doesn't mean I'll forget how many times he fell. Those skates still piss me off.
I'm glad he stopped falling into that filth. It was horrible.
And I'm glad it all ended well. Tim showed that even when it's scary and tough, you can overcome your fears and learn something new. He's amazing.
Exactly. It was an unforgettable day, full of emotions and challenges. But in the end, Tim proved to himself that he could handle any difficulty, and we were there to support him every step of the way. It was such a wonderful day. The sun was shining, the pools were filled with crystal clear water, and there were so many slides and attractions around. Tim was thrilled and couldn't wait to try everything.
Yeah, but I wasn't too happy. The first slide we went to was closed. I was furious. How can you go to a water park and not find a working slide? It's just absurd. But Tim insisted on trying the other slides.
And not just that. In some pools, the water was cold and smelled like chlorine. Ew! I just couldn't stand that smell. And when we went to the wave pool, there were some leaves and trash in the water. It was disgusting.
The scariest thing for me was the tall slides. What if Tim didn't hold on and fell? What if someone accidentally pushed him? It seemed like every slide was a danger. I was constantly worried about him.
But Tim was determined. He went down the tallest slide and screamed with excitement. He swam through the artificial waves and laughed as he was tossed up and down. He even tried the water trampoline and managed to jump really high. We were all so happy to see him enjoying every moment.
Well, he did well, but I'm still mad about that closed slide. I hope everything works properly next time.
I'm glad he had fun, but I felt out of place the whole time. I hope the water is cleaner and without that awful smell next time.
And I'm glad everything ended well. Tim showed that he could overcome his fears and enjoy the adventure. He's really amazing.
Exactly. It was an amazing day full of fun and new experiences. Tim proved that even in the most challenging situations, you can find joy and enjoyment. And we were there to support him every step of the way. I want to tell you about the time Tim baked a pie for the first time. It was such a fun day. The kitchen was filled with the aroma of fresh apples and cinnamon, and the whole atmosphere was brimming with the anticipation of something delicious. Tim was so excited and couldn't wait to taste his first homemade pie.
Oh, sure, it was fun, especially when flour ended up everywhere except in the bowl. I was furious. How can you be so clumsy? And the eggs. How do you crack eggs and get shells in the batter? It's just absurd. But Tim didn't give up and kept trying.
And not just that. The whole process was so messy and sticky. I couldn't stand how the dough stuck to his hands, and then he had to clean it all up. And when he added too much cinnamon, I just couldn't bear the smell. It was disgusting.
The whole baking process was a real trial for me. What if the pie burned? What if the dough didn't bake properly? It felt like every minute was filled with danger. I was constantly worried about him.
Well, it's time to wrap up the story and say goodbye. I hope you've liked the video and subscribed to the channel. It really helps us and Tim. Goodbye for now, and see you next time. Hello everyone, dear friends. It's me, Joy, along with anxiety, anger, and disgust. Today, Tim is playing a mode called Minions Berry's Prison Run.
Hello, everyone. Look, Tim has been locked up here by the minions. There's one of them patrolling the corridor. Look, he looks scary, and he could harm us.
Forget about him. Let's escape through the ventilation quickly. Hi, subscribers. How's it going? Write in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Your support is very important to us and to Tim.
Hi, this place is disgusting. Look at the walls and floor. Everything is covered in dust and dirt. Honestly, it was cleaner in the cell. Let's find a way out quickly. Subscribers, help us out.
Guys, let's stay optimistic. Everything is fine. Tim is smart and brave. He'll definitely find a way out of here. Where have we ended up? This room looks pretty strange, don't you think? Oh, look at that minion. He's so funny and cute, even though he's standing by the door.
Oh no! He's starting to move towards us. What should we do? We need to find a safe place quickly before he catches us.
Stop panicking. We need to move quickly and decisively. If we can make it to the ventilation, we can escape from him. Let's find our way and keep moving.
Oh no, not another ventilation. I can't stand these dirty, cramped spaces anymore. But if it's the only way to escape that dreadful minion, I'm ready to go through it.
We did it! We're in the ventilation now, and the minion can't reach us. Now we just need to find our way out and seize every opportunity.
Wow, what is this room? Everything looks so luxurious. And what if the chandelier in that room fell on us?
All right, we've ended up in the minions' dungeon. Tim needs to stay alert. Minions are very cunning and stealthy. They could appear right beside us at any moment. We must get through this challenge and move forward.
It's full of rats and so cold here. It's really disgusting. Guys, hit the like button and subscribe so we can get out of here as soon as possible.
Disgust. It's not that bad here. There's water, it's spacious, and it's humid. What's more interesting is what awaits us next. This is truly an exciting and amazing adventure.
Oh no, no, no! This huge ball could crush us! How do we move forward? It looks so terrifying. I'm about to cry from fear. Tim, please be careful. I'm begging you, make it to the end.
Anxiety. Tim is doing great. Come on, Tim, I believe in you. You can overcome this giant ball and make it to the end. Forward, just keep going.
Tim almost made it. Great job. He did it.
See? Even though you were worried, Tim has everything under control. He'll make it to the end.
Joy, I think this is a great moment to share a couple of interesting stories with our viewers. What do you think?
Yes, great idea. Let's share a couple of exciting stories with our viewers while Tim continues his adventure. I hope you'll enjoy them. Guys, have you hit the like and subscribe buttons? Then let's get started. This story is about Tim's transition to a new school. The first day at the new school was a real adventure. Tim was eagerly looking forward to it. There were many new faces around, and he was full of enthusiasm. I could feel his joy and inspiration. We eagerly watched as he smiled, made new friends, and explored his new surroundings. Each new discovery brought him joy, and his energy was simply contagious.
I couldn't help but worry about Tim. A new class, new teachers, new rules. Everything was new to him. I was concerned about how he would handle the adaptation and whether he would be able to get along with his classmates. Every little detail seemed important to me, and I was anxious about how he would feel in the new environment. I was scared that he might be left alone or that something might go wrong.
When I saw how some of the kids in class reacted to Tim, I was furious. I was irritated when some of the kids started teasing or showing unkindness. It was unfair. Tim deserved better than such taunts. I was ready to fight for his dignity and protect him from any attempts to belittle him.
Some moments of the first day were simply unpleasant. I felt disgusted when I saw the untidiness in the school cafeteria or locker room, and some kids behaved rudely and disrespectfully. All of this created an unpleasant impression and sometimes overshadowed the joy of new experiences. I was disappointed that the initial stage could be spoiled by such small things.
Despite all the difficulties, Tim managed to get through the first day. He found new friends and adapted to the new environment. His smile and positive energy returned when he realized that things weren't as scary as they had seemed at first. We were thrilled with his successes and the fact that he was able to overcome all the initial hurdles.
By the end of the day, I felt a sense of relief. Tim began to feel more confident, and his anxiety gradually subsided. Although I still worried about his adaptation, I saw that he started to get along with his classmates and felt more comfortable. It was reassuring.
I was glad that Tim was able to show who he was despite the initial difficulties. Even though some kids continued to behave inappropriately, Tim didn't let them break him and kept moving forward. I was proud of how he held his ground and didn't give in to provocations.
Although the first impression of the school had some unpleasant moments, I saw that Tim managed to overcome the difficulties and kept moving forward. It was important for him, and I understood that he was able to leave the negative moments behind and start a new chapter of his school life with a positive attitude.
Thus, the first day at the new school, though it began with worries and difficulties, became the start of a new and exciting adventure for Tim. We were happy to see his growth and development, and were confident that he would have many wonderful moments ahead. Hey guys, did you enjoy the story? Hit that like button and subscribe. When Tim watched the horror movie, he was thrilled by the plot and special effects. It was an exciting and tense adventure that kept him on edge until the very end. I was happy to see him enjoying the genre and how his eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. In the evening, he discussed the movie, sharing his favorite moments, and it was fun and interesting.
But as night fell, I began to worry. Tim became nervous and anxious, and although I knew the movie was just fiction, his fears started to haunt him. I was concerned he wouldn't be able to sleep, and that his nighttime fears might seriously affect his well-being. I was anxious about every creak and shadow that might remind him of the scenes from the film.
In the morning, when strange things started happening, I was outraged. Why did these things have to happen? It was unfair. Tim had already endured a night full of fears and anxieties, and now he was being plagued by oddities. It was simply unacceptable. I was ready to fight to protect him from any potential troubles.
When the oddities started occurring, I felt disgusted. The strange noises and mysterious events not only scared Tim, but also made me feel uncomfortable. I was distressed that reality seemed to be turning into a terrible movie that Tim had watched. It was unpleasant and gave me a sense of anxiety and distaste.
Despite all the fears and discomforts, Tim managed to find the strength to handle the situation. He began to see everything that was happening as mere coincidences and approach the situation with humor. His ability to find positivity, even in difficult situations, helped him overcome his fears and regain his calm. I was happy to see him smiling again and tackling all the problems with confidence.
As things began to settle down, I felt a sense of relief. Tim managed to handle the situation and regain his calm. Although I still worried about his nighttime fears, I was glad that he was able to see the events as part of his imagination and deal with them. It gave me confidence that he could handle any challenges that came his way.
I was glad that Tim could handle the situation despite all the discomforts. Although what was happening was unfair and annoying, he didn't let his fears take over and kept moving forward. I was proud of how he showed resilience and courage.
Although all these oddities were unpleasant and made me feel uncomfortable, I was happy that Tim was able to overcome his fears and return to a sense of normalcy. These events reminded us of how important it is to stay calm and not let fears and discomforts control us.
So, despite all the difficulties and nighttime fears, Tim managed to handle the situation and return to normal life. We were all happy to see his confidence and ability to deal with challenges. It was a lesson in how important it is not to let fears control you and to find joy and courage even in the toughest situations.
Hey everyone, our stories have come to an end. We really hope you enjoyed them. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Your support means a lot to us.
While we were sharing stories, Tim has reached the final challenge. Mega Minion Boss. This is a very serious opponent, but we will crush him. Tim is strong and brave, and he will definitely defeat him.
Oh no, he's so big and gross. It's disgusting to look at him. Do we have any other options? Do we really have to fight him? Maybe there's a way to avoid him somehow.
Hooray! Tim defeated the boss. We did it. Tim has completed this level. Guys, you definitely need to like and subscribe for this. It's amazing.
It was really scary, but this level is truly interesting and dangerous. Guys, thank you for being with us. Thanks for watching and for your support. Bye for now.
Hey everyone, guys, how did we end up here? Let's get out of this mode together.
That's right. Guys, help us escape from here by hitting the like button, subscribing, and we'll definitely make it out.
I'm about to punch him. Why the heck did they lock us up here? Let's get out of here, subscribers. Help Tim escape from this place.
It smells terrible in here. How about escaping through the ventilation?
Yes, Tim knows what he's doing. We're definitely getting out of here now.
We're going to end up outside, right? Oh no, it's really high up. I'm worried about our boy Tim.
Anxiety, don't worry. Everything will be fine. Tim is a smart boy. He can handle this obstacle.
Press that darn button, Tim. I'm about to boil over. Who dared to lock us up here? Does someone want our soul?
Tim isn't really gonna jump across those platforms, is he? Well, who am I kidding?
Guys, there's no need to worry. Tim has everything under control. He'll handle it. We just need to believe in him.
I do believe in him, but I'm very, very scared. What if our boy falls? What will happen to him? What if he doesn't make it?
Look how much fun it is here. So many toys. We can play with cars or ride on the big inflatable ship.
Wait, what's that? I see something behind the wardrobe. Oh God, someone is coming out. It's an old woman. She looks really scary.
Look at her. Her clothes are dirty and she looks disgusting. I can't stay here. I'm feeling sick. We need to find an exit quickly.
We're safe. The old woman is gone. I was so nervous, but now I feel like things are a bit better.
It's clear that she couldn't handle us. We managed to find a way out. But remember, if she comes back, be ready.
See, guys, everything's fine. We don't need to panic. Tim is handling it. Now we need to move those boxes so we can reach the ventilation.
I hate vents. It's so cramped and smells terrible. Isn't there another option?
No, Disgust. We don't have any other option but to push through after everything that's happened.
Tim, what are you doing? The vent could be dangerous. What if you get stuck or fall?
Don't worry, Anxiety. Tim looks so brave. Just imagine what an adventure it is to crawl through the vent. It's like in the movies.
Yuck. It's so dusty and dirty. How can you crawl into such a creepy vent? Tim, you should find another way.
Tim, knock down that damn fence. It's blocking our way.
Anger? Why knock it down right away? We can be smarter and not break anything. Tim is a clever boy. He'll find a way out of any situation.
Tim, where have you ended up? This big room looks like a warehouse. It could be dangerous here. What if someone else is around?
Yuck. Everything here is dusty and dirty. This warehouse looks so neglected. I hope Tim doesn't plan to stay here for long.
All right, but let's not forget to be cautious. Places like this often have traps or locked doors. Let's stay vigilant.
Guys, I think it's a great time to tell you a story. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. It all started when we ended up in a class with this teacher. His name was Mr. Grimm, and he was known for giving everyone failing grades and always angrily pointing with his ruler.
When we first arrived in Mr. Grimm's class, I was very worried. The room was gloomy, and all the students looked frightened. Mr. Grimm was stern and irritable, and his ruler seemed so threatening. I was so anxious that this day would be terrible.
From the very beginning, I was furious about how Mr. Grimm treated the students. He was always scolding them and giving failing grades for the slightest mistakes. I wanted to do something to change the situation because his attitude was unfair.
When I saw how Mr. Grimm cruelly and mercilessly treated the children, I felt a deep sense of disgust. It was unpleasant to watch him use his ruler and how his rudeness destroyed the classroom atmosphere.
Despite all this, I decided to try to find a way to change the situation. I noticed that Mr. Grimm was lonely and never smiled. I had an idea. If we could show him how nice it is to be kind, maybe he would change.
I wasn't sure how to do this, but Joy suggested a plan. We decided to start by doing something kind for Mr. Grimm. We prepared small gifts and notes with kind wishes.
I supported the plan but was cautious. I wanted Mr. Grimm to understand how his behavior affected others. We brought him gifts and notes, hoping it would give him a reason to reflect.
At first, I was skeptical. I didn't like the idea of doing something for Mr. Grimm, but I understood that it might help. We carefully left the gifts on his desk and wrote kind words in the notes.
One day, when Mr. Grimm came into the class, he saw the gifts and notes. At first, his face looked surprised, but then, as he read the kind words, he began to change. Gradually, a smile appeared on his face, and he became more friendly.
My anxiety began to diminish when I saw that Mr. Grimm became softer. He started praising students for their efforts and even began using the ruler in more playful games rather than for punishment.
I was amazed by the changes. Mr. Grimm became attentive and understanding. He stopped giving failing grades without reason and started encouraging students for their successes. I was glad that our intervention helped change his attitude.
I couldn't believe that our plan worked, but the results were evident. Mr. Grimm had now become a kind and caring figure, and the classroom turned into a place where students felt comfortable and confident.
Mr. Grimm began spending time with the students, telling them stories and teaching them with a smile. His kindness was so genuine that the class became a place of joy and fun. We were all happy to see how he changed and how he became a beloved figure for his students.
Now I feel I can breathe a sigh of relief. Mr. Grimm has become not only kinder, but also more attentive to his students. It has been a true miracle.
Yes, it was a great change. I am glad that our effort and hard work helped improve the situation. It was a worthwhile endeavor.
Now I am pleased to see that the classroom has become a pleasant place for learning. I am glad that Mr. Grimm changed, and now students no longer have to fear him.
So, joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust helped Mr. Grimm become a kind figure. This story shows that even the most difficult situations can be changed if approached with kindness and understanding.
Did you like it? If so, subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up, and let's move on to the next story.
This story is about how anger, disgust, anxiety, and I helped Tim deal with a situation at school. It all started when Tim began coming home upset. He told us that his classmates were bullying him. This was very hard for him.
I immediately felt how Tim was affected by being bullied. I constantly worried that the situation might get worse. I was concerned that Tim might feel even worse, or even refuse to go to school.
I was outraged that Tim was being bullied. It was unfair, and I couldn't stand that someone was treating him so poorly. I wanted to help Tim, but I didn't know how to do it right without making things worse.
I was appalled to hear about how Tim was being bullied. The bullies were so rude and uncivilized that I had no respect for them. I thought they deserved to be shown that their behavior was unacceptable.
I realized we needed to find a way to help Tim without causing harm to anyone. Together, we decided that the best way to help Tim was to support him in a way that made him feel confident and able to defend himself.
I was scared of the idea that we might do something that could make things even worse. But I understood that Tim needed support, and we needed to find a way to help him feel better and more protected.
I suggested to Tim that he should open up and talk to his teacher or parents about what was happening. It was important for them to know about the problem so they could help. I also advised Tim on how to use his words to make it clear to the bullies that their behavior was unacceptable.
I helped Tim come up with ways to respond to the bullies to show them that their actions were inappropriate. Instead of seeking revenge, we decided to demonstrate that Tim didn't have to tolerate such behavior. He could stand up for his rights with confidence.
Together with anxiety, anger, and disgust, we developed a plan to help Tim. He started to confidently speak to the bullies and show them that while they could hurt him, they couldn't break him. We supported him and taught him how to be assertive without being aggressive.
My worry about Tim gradually lessened as I saw him start to show confidence and resilience. He began to feel better and started believing in his own strength. I was happy to see that he was no longer afraid to openly express his feelings.
I am proud of how Tim handled the situation. He not only defended himself, but also taught the bullies that their behavior was unacceptable. It was fair and right.
I am glad that we helped Tim deal with the bullies without resorting to revenge. His confidence and ability to stand up for himself were the best responses. The bullies now understand that they shouldn't treat people the way they treated Tim.
In the end, Tim felt much better. His confidence grew, and he started enjoying his days at school. We were all happy to see him become stronger and more self-assured. It was a great example of how important it is to have friends' support and a proper approach to solving problems.
Now I feel that everything will be okay. Tim has learned to handle difficult situations and not be afraid of them. This was crucial for his confidence and self-respect.
I am satisfied with how everything turned out. Tim was able to show that he wouldn't let anyone treat him badly. It was well-deserved.
I am happy that Tim managed to deal with this unpleasant situation. His confidence and courage were well earned, and he now knows that he deserves respect.
So, with the help of anxiety, anger, disgust, and me, Joy, Tim was able to overcome the difficulties and become more confident. It shows that together we can handle any challenges and help each other become stronger.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.
Hello, everyone. It's me, your favorite Joy. Today, our boy Tim is going to face a very scary and dangerous challenge called Sir Scary's Mansion. Like the video and subscribe to the channel so we can get through this challenge together.
Hello, everyone. I'm already very scared. I'm really afraid of this man and his mansion. Oh no, he's chasing us. This is very alarming. Tim must run as fast as he can.
I'm about to explode like a volcano. Damn it! Why does this man think he can chase us? Tim, if you stop, we'll take him down in a second.
Do you hear those sounds? Tim, don't even think about getting close to him. It's dangerous and really disgusting. This man is so gross, he must not have showered in ages. He's a stinker.
All right, we're safe here. He can't reach us. Tim is in the ventilation. We need to keep moving.
I don't even know what to be afraid of anymore. I hope it only gets better from here.
Whoa, look at those huge, sharp red spikes. If Tim falls... No, Tim won't fall. Tim never falls. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments.
This room is so cold and smells terrible. Can we hurry up and get past these spikes? It should get easier after this, right?
Disgust? I don't think it will get easier, but Tim can handle it. Oh no, are those axes? Well, at least it's not lava or that old smelly man.
These axes are so sharp and big. Tim, please be careful and make it to the end. You're almost there.
The axes are behind us. Tim, you did great. Those huge axes are really dangerous. Even small axes can be dangerous too. I remember a forester once injured himself with a small axe. It looked harmless, but the forester was in a lot of pain afterward.
Anger. Don't talk about that. It's making me feel disgusted. Ugh, it's awful. How can you even talk about something like that?
Guys, maybe this staircase leads us to the exit. Look. Oh no, it's not the exit. These propellers are huge, almost like a helicopter's, just a bit smaller. Tim, maybe the exit is waiting for us behind them?
What a dangerous descent, Tim. Slow down, we might crash. Be careful.
Anxiety, it's okay, don't worry. Ahead, traps. I'm sure someone has already been caught in them, but we won't fall into them that easily, right, Tim? This challenge is within our power, darn it. I'll crush anyone who stands in our way.
It smells terrible up ahead. What is that in front?
There's a chasm below us, but it's okay, right, guys? Anyway, let's stay calm and not panic.
A chasm? Not panic? I'm about to cry from fear. This is so scary. Oh my God, where have we ended up? I'm so worried about our boy Tim. I just want to get out of here as soon as possible.
Tim did great. He turned off both valves, stopped the gas leak, and now we can move forward. No one fell, and you were also worried.
Guys, this is a great time to share some fascinating stories with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's dive into the stories.
It's time to share an incredible story about how we helped a robber turn his life around. It all started when we found ourselves inside the mind of a man named Victor. He was a robber, and his life was filled with mistakes and bad deeds. Despite this, we knew that deep down, Victor was a good person.
I felt a great deal of anxiety when we learned who Victor was. He often found himself in trouble, and his life was full of fear and tension. I worried for him because I knew that this path would lead nowhere good.
When I realized that Victor was involved in robberies, I felt anger. Robbery is unfair, and I wanted Victor to understand that he couldn't treat others this way. I knew we had to help him see the consequences of his actions.
It was unpleasant to be in the mind of someone who did such things. Robbery and deceit are very repulsive acts. I wanted Victor to realize that such actions not only hurt others but also harmed him.
We decided that we needed to help Victor find a better path. Instead of judging him, we tried to guide him towards the right way. We started showing him what his life could look like if he changed. We suggested to him that there were many ways to earn an honest living and feel true joy.
I was still worried that Victor might not be able to change his life, but we decided to support him. We encouraged him to think that he could start fresh if he wanted to. We also helped him find resources and people who could assist him.
I used my energy to help Victor understand how destructive his actions were. We reminded him of the people he had hurt and the consequences his actions could have. I wanted him to feel responsible for his actions.
We also helped Victor realize how distasteful his previous lifestyle was. We showed him that he could change his life and stop feeling bad about his actions. This was important for him to start respecting himself and others.
Gradually, Victor began to change. He found a job and started helping other people in difficult situations. We saw how his life was filling with joy and meaning. He was no longer the robber he once was. Now he tried to do good and help those around him.
I felt immense relief when I saw that Victor had found a new path. I no longer feared for his future because he had chosen the right way. Now his life was safer and more peaceful.
I was pleased to see that Victor had recognized his mistakes and decided to change his life. He became more responsible and considerate of others. This was something to be respected.
I was also happy with the changes. Victor stopped doing things that made him and others feel disgusted. Now he lived honestly and with respect for himself and those around him.
Now Victor lives a happy and honest life. We are proud that we could help him find the right path. This shows that even the toughest situations can change if a person is willing to change their life. Along with anxiety, anger, and disgust, we realized that everyone deserves a chance at a better future.
Did you enjoy the story? Give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and don't forget to leave your thoughts about our adventures in the comments.
One day, something incredible happened to Tim. It all started when he was walking in the park, and suddenly, a bright spaceship landed in front of him. Out came aliens who handed Tim a suitcase, promising that its contents would grant all his wishes on Earth. I was thrilled. This was a real miracle.
When the aliens gave Tim the suitcase, I immediately started worrying. A suitcase that grants all wishes sounded too good to be true. What if it was a trick or had hidden consequences? I was concerned for Tim's safety.
I felt suspicious right away. Who were these aliens? And why were they giving Tim a suitcase with such power for free? I was angry at them for putting Tim in a situation with so many unknowns.
I was skeptical of the whole situation. Aliens and a magical suitcase? It sounded dirty and questionable. I thought there might be something unpleasant going on, and I didn't like it.
Despite our doubts, Tim was full of curiosity. He opened the suitcase and found a strange crystal inside. The aliens explained that all he had to do was make a wish, and it would come true. We all started thinking about what to wish for first.
I suggested that Tim should first wish for something small to test how it works and if it's safe. Maybe wish for his favorite food or a small gift. I was very worried that something might go wrong.
I agreed with anxiety. Safety first. I didn't want Tim to wish for something grandiose right away and face unforeseen consequences. I suggested wishing for something simple but useful, like extra time to do homework.
I thought that if this really worked, we could use it for something useful and enjoyable, but not too risky. I didn't want Tim to wish for something too ambitious that could spiral out of control.
Tim decided to wish for his favorite pizza for dinner. And guess what? The pizza appeared right in front of him. It was amazing. We were all excited, but we understood that with such power, we needed to be cautious.
I was still worried. What if there was a price to pay for each wish? Or something might go wrong. We decided to use the suitcase only in extreme cases and not to abuse its power.
We agreed that it was best to use the wishes for something truly important and necessary. I insisted that Tim make his wishes thoughtfully and responsibly.
I still didn't like the idea of using the suitcase without being fully sure of its safety. Careful and observant of any consequences.
So, Tim and we, his emotions, decided to use the suitcase wisely and responsibly. We knew that magic needed to be used with intelligence and caution. This suitcase became a reminder of the importance of being mindful of our wishes and actions.
How did you like our stories? I hope you enjoyed them. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks to your support, Tim is almost at the end. Thank you, subscribers.
Yes, your support means so much to us. Over 90% of people watching our videos aren't subscribed. Let's change that, shall we?
What a disgusting water. It's green and looks dangerous. How can anyone swim in that? We need to stay on guard and get out of here as quickly as possible.
Oh, this really looks creepy. Green water might mean there are lots of algae or some chemical substances. We need to be extremely cautious to avoid getting hurt. Tim, look for a way to get out of this place quickly.
And we've reached the end. Thanks everyone for watching, good luck, and bye for now.